Welcome back to the Angry Man Podcast with Jason and Greg. Jay, we have breaking news. Errol Spence just underwent a surgery, cataract surgery for his eye. He has video out there on his Instagram live or his Instagram stories where you can see where his eye is covered. This is the second eye surgery that Errol Spence has had, and he actually mentions in this, Jay, that he's been long overdue for this surgery. As a matter of fact, in one of the Instagram surgeries, he said, had to get cataract surgery. It's been past due. Shit was covering my eye. Why do you think I got hit with so many jabs and hooks? Still a great performance by bro. Wow. And this is the first time, we've actually seen Errol Spence really respond and talk about the performance that he had against Terence Crawford. Now, we've heard a multitude of things. I have been told that he had a rib injury going into the fight. That was confirmed by somebody that I know that has some ties with so I heard it from two different places, right? Yeah. And I know a lot of people are going to try to take this as an excuse from Errol Spence, but regardless if you feel like it's an Errol Spence excuse or not, at the end of the day, this has to affect the timing in which this fight could actually take place in terms of the rematch. And I don't know if there's anything in the contract that would allow Terence Crawford to go ahead and move forward and maybe not have to fulfill his obligation in order to actually face Errol Spence. So, I mean, this is a really, really, really interesting development. And I'm really curious about where we go here. Now, Jay, what did I know you talked to your wife. What did she have to say about cataract surgery and how it might impact Errol Spence in terms of his ability to train?
Yeah, I mean, that's a profession, but I mean, can't diagnose without being an actual surgeon, but typical.
But let's pause because I want the people to understand exactly the reason why we're talking about your wife. What is your wife's profession?
Ophthalmologist.
Okay, so your wife is a professional in this. She's a physician that is specializing in eyes. Okay, so now what was her thoughts? Again, she's not diagnosing it, but what was her thoughts in terms of ability to get back to training?
1 to 2 months.
1 to 2 months.
Yeah, and it just depends on how in depth was it, how he recovers and things of that nature there, and also it's like with that type of surgery, especially with being the profession that he's in, being a boxer, being high impact. It can take a long time, 1 to 2 months. I say a long time, meaning that especially when we know that we're looking forward to a rematch in February,
March, yeah.
March, so 1 to 2 months, you're out, depending on where his physical ability is at right now, as far as, what he's been training, his size and things of that nature there. He can't really exert himself during the recovery period. So that's a month right there, guarantee. I'm pretty sure it's a month at least. So for that, and then let's say he has some issues recovering, 2 months. So that puts us already at March without a training camp, a full training camp, which we know he's going to need a full training camp for the fight or for a rematch with Bud. So that can push us back probably down to like the May. If all this is just happening for him, he just got wheeled back, had the surgery recent within the last week or so. So, I mean, that definitely throws a monkey wrench into the whole rematch happening in February, March, for sure. Because it won't be a full training camp just because of the nature of that type of surgery and he not being able to exert himself. So not being exert himself, you have to do more type of, I guess, more like kind of like yoga, things of that nature where you're not really exerting yourself on that. And that can definitely impact him. We know he's usually a little bit heavier, so he needs to lose the weight, make sure he's doing his power training and things of that nature there to be strong for the rematch. So this is definitely going to delay things. Delay things.
I mean, and it's incredibly unfortunate that this is and people are going to say oh, you guys, you're making excuses for Errol Spence and so forth and so on. And my question would be this, man, and I'm not this. I love Spence, but why are we waiting so long in order to have the surgery? You gotta ask that question. And I can't explain it. You know what I mean? Like I would have thought
he's waiting for a while because that's what he's talking about beforehand. When he first got the detached retina, he was trying to push it off. He didn't want to have the surgery. He didn't want to derail and delay his fight, with Pacquiao. And it being like, hey, you need to do this now, or you might lose your vision in that eye. Granted, this ain't the same thing, but it can get worse. If he fights again too early, or starts training too early, he don't need any more setbacks. I mean, we're definitely a Spence fan. We just want the best for him in this situation here. It's going to delay the rematch for sure. I just want him to come back healthy as he can.
Dude, that's not necessarily what I'm talking about, though. I get that part, right? But you just had the fight. Why not? Why not then? Why not go ahead and have the surgery right after the fight? Is really my question, and I think probably going to be the question of a lot of people. Like, why not have that fight right, or why not have that surgery directly after the fight? And I think at this moment, man, you have to question whether or not Terence Crawford and Errol Spence are even going to be able to move forward with this fight. I mean, think about it, Jay. At the end of the day, there may be a contract clause, as I mentioned earlier, that prevents Terence Crawford or gives Terence Crawford the option of not moving forward this particular fight. I mean, yeah, you have to have eye surgery. You've had a cataract injury for quite some time, but that's not necessarily my fault. You know what I mean? I need to move forward with my career. We had this fight back in July. There's no reason for me to wait around and try to figure out what it is that you're going to do and when you will be in a position to actually make this fight. I would be surprised if there's not some type of caveat within the contract that allows for that. So, or for him to get out of it, altogether. So at this point, we may have seen the end of this particular fight. I'm not sure this fight is going to occur anymore. Now, there's going to be conspiracy theorists out there that are going to say something to the effect that Errol Spence simply went ahead and had the surgery because he wanted to get out of the fight. And that's the reason why I brought up the whole fact of why didn't it occur earlier? Because those things are going to be said. And it's a valid reason for why he didn't do it earlier, so that you could have gone ahead and gotten done with it and moved forward. Now that you've waited so long, people are going to try to come up with that narrative. And Spence, to me, isn't the type of dude that's going to back away from a fight. And you would think that he wants to get back, specifically if he truly feels that the cataracts was a part of the issue. But people are going to say that this is an excuse. I don't think it's necessarily an excuse. I just think this is what had to occur. So it's interesting, man. And it's a big time development.
Yeah, man. I mean, it is what it is, whether it happened beforehand or not. I definitely don't see it as an excuse for him not to fight for a rematch. Oh, that's why he's trying to get out of a rematch or anything like that. I don't see that as an excuse. Spence has had some very unfortunate luck, for sure. Between all the things he's been through, it sucks because I want to see the rematch, regardless of who I felt was going to win. I like Spence is our boy. We support Spence. We support all the fighters, but Spence, we just like him just because he's been a stand-up dude he's been standing on business, as they say nowadays, with getting other stuff done. So it sucks that this is going to derail or delay this fight. I can't be mad at Bud if he doesn't want to do the rematch now. I can't be mad at it if this gives him another out to get out because he wants another fight. He wants to get another big money fight, and he likes to stay active. So I can't be mad at Bud for that.
Yep, it is what it is. We'll see if this fight ends up taking place. I actually doubt that this rematch will take place now. You guys tell us what you think in the comment section. Breaking news, Errol Spence just recently had cataract surgery, and he's saying that's the reason why he got caught with all those punches. You let us know what you think. Don't forget to hate, like, comment, and subscribe. This is the Angry Man Podcast on Sports Media, and we are out.